so we're just going to go through sharpening because that's kind of like the first thing you should know how to do if you're going to get into wood carving or woodworking, is to know how to keep your tools sharp. So typically I'll use this. It's a sharpening station that I made using the videos that like Paul Sellers and James Wright had. So as you can see, it's literally just 2 pieces of poplar that I put together. They were scrap poplar, actually, that I made while in lockdown because I was bored as hell. So did that. I made little recesses using a router plane and some chisels. The router plane is unnecessary. I just like playing with it. You can honestly make the recesses with chisels. I fitted them to my DMT diamond plates. This is the extra course. And I use this for my tool restorations when a blade is just incredibly dull, to just kind of grind an edge back to it. Then I've got the coarse, which is normally where I start if I'm doing my woodworking and the tool is a little bit dull. Then I'll start on the coarse, then the fine, and then just strop it with green compound. So pretty much the whole goal of all sharpening is to get a burr, so it's just like a little bit of feathery metallic on the other side of the blade edge, and then you basically just keep folding that back and forth until you get a nice edge. So this is really easy to use the station. I just use Windex on these plates so that, you know, they don't get super rusty because they are metal. And really easy to just take the plain iron out, hit it with the coarse, hit it with the fine, strop it a few times to make sure that that burr is completely gone so that you get a fresh edge, and then just keep working. But when I want to have some fun, that's when I start using my natural stones. So what I've got here are Arkansas stones. I like using them. They're really fun to play with. If an edge is really bad, then I'll use this yellow carborundum dressing stone. I got them from my buddy Adam Agnello. He's great. I'll put a link down below. He introduced me to these. They're aluminum oxide. They're made by the Carborundum Company in England. They're about like a 120, 220 grit. These things are fantastic. They work super fast to give you a nice edge that you can then polish using other stones like Arkansas stones. So this is a nice soft Arkansas. It's a little coarser, but still like super fine. Arkansas stones will come in like a variety of colors. You can see most of them on this one, on the other side that I haven't really touched yet. So gray, white, a little bit of red. That's pretty typical for Arkansas stones. You'll see them on the hard and soft. Soft just means it's a little bit coarser. The soft Arkansas, the hard Arkansas I have here is actually like unusually gray, but still pretty normal for a hard arc. It's denser than this one. In fact, typically you'll see hard Arkansas looking like this. Like it's usually pure white. So mine just didn't happen to be that. Still a hard arc though. And then lastly for funsies, I have this really big black Arkansas stone. So it's just super fine. This thing is like glass. When you run your plane on it, it just slides right across. Pretty unnecessary for a tool edge. I just like to use it because it's fun. And then after you're done with all your fine polishing stones, then you use a strop, like always, to just get that burr off to give you a nice tool edge. Because these are natural stones, you will need to flatten them. Eventually, you'll kind of get some dishing on them, which typically doesn't happen for like the super dense ones, like the black arc. Probably won't be able to dish this for a while. But my setup used to be using like a silicon carbide lapping stone. So These are nice with the grooves because it doesn't clog up everything quite so much. But the thing is, like, it kind of got out of flat pretty fast. Because basically I just take this out to the backyard, lap the stones on top of it with water, and it just kind of got out of flat really fast. So I'm not a huge fan of this. So what I started doing, again, because of my buddy Adam, I started using these silicon carbide powders. So it's exactly what you get in the lapping stone, but now it's a powder, and you just need a flat surface and get some water. So my flat surface, I just use like float glass plate, put some silicon carbide on there with some water, lap the stone flat, and I'm back in business. So that's pretty much my sharpening like flow. I'll usually use the Arkansas stones for my carving knives, just because I want like a finer polish on those. For tools, I'll typically use the DMT plates because I want to go fast, and it doesn't need to be nearly as fine. So ask any questions below in the comments, and yeah, let me know what you think.